look how tight these three drivers are. And Velvet Thunder sends it. He's trying to get a 2-for-1 special on the inside. That puts him on the outside. Can he keep it on the track, get the power down? Root is in all-wheel drive. He has McNaughty behind him, but now Velvet Thunder on the inside, and it looks like they have a slow-moving car up ahead.
You can see it from Bobagito's perspective. Jorge's going to go ahead and go defensive. He's back to the outside.
Oh.
Is he going to give Wade a little bit of help? Wade holding on to that P2. I don't know how. Look at Racer 51. They're side to side. Oh, my God.
And we see another Joker runner as, McNaughty comes back onto the track. It is fun to see them come out of nowhere on this camera angle, as that is Bobagito with a 1 second penalty. Oh,
did we just see this last race?
Oh my goodness. Can they keep it? No,
get out there.
Oh! Jersey goes Pyro, losing it a little bit. Oh no, and a penalty.
Door close if you can.
As they go too wide over the jump.
Holy cow. Oh.
You can see there's nothing left on that front left tyre when they go into the braking zone. Can they keep control of the car thing? Balmora is taking up the inside line, and it looks like Stumpy is following suit as well. There's a little bit of contact as well as we go 3 wide into the right-hander.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Tatiana Noel, though you probably know me as E Dirty Tati. Tonight, I'm joined by a cast of characters who need no introduction, but just in case, we have Jeremy, aka Salamander MN, Travis Case, aka T Case, Ryan Taylor, aka SlowMoe, Eric Bowe, aka Papa, and Kevin, aka McNaughty. Tonight, we're officially introducing Upshift Media, a new broadcast company and media company built around sim racing, live production, commentary, and the stories that make sim racing communities worth watching. This is going to be a quick conversation with the team. We just want to talk about Upshift Media, what it is, why we believe it needs to exist, and how broadcasting can help sim racing leagues grow beyond just the people on track. Because it's really the point here. A league can exist without a broadcast, sure, but a broadcast helps a league become visible, memorable, sponsor-friendly, and easier for people outside of the cockpit to care about. So, tonight we're going to talk about the gap that Upshift Media is trying to fill, why commentary and production matter, and why each of us wanted to be a part of this. Let's start with you, Sal. I want a need that you saw in the sim racing space. First, give us the quick one-liner. What is Upshift Media? And then what was the hole or need you felt needed to be filled when you started thinking about this?
Sure, Tati, thanks. Upshift Media is exactly what the name implies. We are shifting sim racing broadcast production into a whole new gear by uniting the absolute top tier of Gran Turismo 7 production and commentary talent. We aren't just streaming races, we are building a mainstream fandom around the drivers, the leagues, and the incredible community that drives this sport. Our mission is to show the world that virtual racing delivers just as much passion, drama, and excitement as any real-world motorsport. You know, the truth is there are so many brilliant leagues creating incredible, heart-pounding racing out there, but they're often doing it in obscurity. League organizers put an immense amount of blood, sweat, and tears into nailing the schedules, the car combos, leaving them with 0 to no time or resources left for a high-quality presentation, so the broadcast becomes an afterthought. That's the gap we're filling. Upshift Media Studios steps in as a dedicated team focused entirely on turning their vision into a polished, television-grade spectacle that gives these drivers the stage they truly deserve.
You know what? That's a really important distinction, because you mentioned a lot of leagues already have the core pieces, right? They have the drivers, they have the schedule, they have the race control, and they have the passion, of course. But broadcast is its own skill. It's not just pressing go. It's knowing how to package the racing in a way that makes people care, right? And that's actually going to bring me to T-Case. T-Case, I want you to talk about commentary and storytelling in sim racing. the people on track already know what's happening, right? They know the battles, they know the rivalries, the strategy, and the pressure, the context for the season, but viewers often don't. So why is commentary so important in turning a race from cars going around a track into something people can really connect with?
I mean, it's everything, Tati, and it's something I've learned a lot from working with you over the last few years. It is just like you said, bringing the audience into the action and understanding what's at stake. If you're not in the racing seat, you really don't have an idea of the sweat, the nerves, the adrenaline going in, and us as commentators are able to, you know, get that across to the audience and really make them feel like they're there. Maybe make them feel like they are involved in this race, understanding strategy and understanding how much work these drivers have put in and the skills that they have. I think it's so important. If you've ever watched a race muted, like a real life race muted, it's kind of boring. You don't really get the sense of urgency, the drama. Maybe there's some battles going on that you miss and you're not hearing about it, and the commentators bring it to life. Or if you go to a race in real life, like in person, you're able to see the cars and it's so cool. But again, you can't hear what's actually happening. And us as commentators and broadcasters doing our best to really get that across to the audience.
Yeah, you honestly, perfect answer. You hit the nail on the head. Commentary gives people a reason to stay invested, right?
Mm-hmm.
It can turn a normal race into a narrative. It turns a driver that people have never heard of into someone they start rooting for. And it can make a league feel alive to people who aren't even racing in it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the storytelling is very important. And I love that about, especially like endurance racing. I think real life commentators do a great job of really making you understand the race has a story. Storytelling is only part of it, part of the commentator's job, of course. There's also the educational side, which is
Mm-hmm.
helping people understand what they're watching. And so SlowMoe, that's actually where I want to bring you in, if you could. Your question is connected to that idea, the idea of storytelling, but obviously a different angle. A lot of people watching sim racing may not understand the strategy, fuel windows, racecraft, defensive driving, pit cycles. They don't understand why a move was brilliant instead of risky, right? So how does good commentary help translate technical and racing knowledge in a way that makes sim racing more accessible to just a casual viewer?
Yeah, and you got to remember when you're in the booth that not everybody out there is going to jump in the driver's seat and run. But part of my goal is to get them enough information to feel comfortable with giving it a try, right? We want to build the sport, we want to help people grow, and we don't want people to be intimidated by a lot of the really really technical aspects that can go on during a race. You got to remember, to win a race, there are so many moving parts, and every one of them has to go just right for you to end up in first. So, helping the viewership kind of understand that there's certain things that are in the driver's control, other things that are not, in kind of getting into those technical aspects, but in a way that isn't intimidating for them. Maybe even something that captivates them and brings them back to say, let's see if somebody's going to run that no stop again next
Mm-hmm.
week. Little details like that that can really, kind of ingrain your audience and get the bug going with them as well. I mean, I've seen so many people that I've talked to along the ways that have watched the streams. The next thing I know, they're talking to me about sim racing equipment and Gran Turismo and what platform they want to play on. And it's so much fun to see the growth of the sport. So I think in the booth, it's so important to be able to help build that growth and it takes some of that intimidating factor that really can be in strategy and some of those technical things away from the audience as much as possible.
I completely agree. I think that accessibility piece is huge. If sim racing is only understandable to the people that are already inside of it, then growth is limited, if not impossible.
Right.
But if a broadcast helps a casual viewer understand the stakes, the strategy, and the skill, then the audience gets bigger. And to your point, sometimes they'll just want to try it, right? Instead of just being an audience member. But we do want people who are just viewers. It's fine. If you just love watching it, that's fine. But that's where a broadcast can turn a league into a community, right? You have a community that's not just the racers, it's the people who watch the racers, follow the racers. Papa, this is where you come in. Actually, this question is for you. PHG, Papa's House of Game, is your community. And it's a great example of how racing can grow into something bigger than just the scheduled events. From your perspective, how has streaming or broadcasting contributed to the growth of PHG as a community?
Streaming and broadcasting, it brought, not that we weren't a close-knit community already, but it brings everybody together. They get to watch the competition. They get to vote for their favorite drivers, even if they're in the league or the championship themselves. It just brings the camaraderie and the competition within everybody. Voting for your drivers. It's been an amazing transformation going from just live streaming, which I really enjoy, but to do the broadcasting, to kind of how the gentleman before me put it. I mean, you get the commentary that brings it all into the action. You get the broadcasting that really brings it to life with all the replays and the pictures and stuff like that through the other leagues. It's been great.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay. I was gonna say it's just been a great experience, and I can't wait to get this stuff going for everybody.
Me too, honestly. I think we've all been talking about how excited we are to finally reveal this. We've been working on it for a little bit. You spoke to a lot of things that were important there. One of them that you touched on was the excitement that is created by the quality of the broadcast itself. You're right. The picture-in-picture thing is amazing. I love it, and sometimes we'll almost get caught up in the little picture battle.
Right.
When I'm supposed to be helping with comms on the big picture battle. Still working on it, but hey, it's there, right? Broadcasting, it creates a record, right? It gives people something to share. It lets a league have moments that live beyond the race itself. We share our highlights, we share shorts, and you'll see like a great overtake, a championship fight, a comeback drive, a rivalry, a chaotic finish. Those things become part of the league's history when they're captured and presented well, and they're available as like a VOD, right? And doing that well, to your point, is not easy. The picture-in-picture stuff, all that, there is a real barrier to entry on the production side. And McNaughty, that is what you're about. That's what you're here for. So the next question is yours. From the outside, broadcasting a league looks pretty simple. I'm not gonna lie, but I know it's not. People might think it's just opening a stream, grabbing a camera angle, and then talking over it. But from a production standpoint, there's a lot more going on. How difficult is the barrier to entry for a league that wants good-looking, reliable, and professional style broadcasts?
Yeah, listen, it's not hard to start, but it is definitely very hard to perfect. Getting a broadcast up and running is one level, but putting something together, coordinating all the pieces that we've mentioned thus far, whether it's the on-track action, whether it's the commentators, whether it's just the league organizing behind the scenes, pulling all of those pieces in and then executing all at once, it's hard. And I think that it's not necessarily a burden that everyone has to do on their own, right? We have a lot of expertise here on offer, and by using us, right, we can you can safely go to bed knowing that that task is going to be taken care of by a team like this. You can tell I'm not the commentator of the group. I just press all the buttons.
You are doing great.
Even for a broadcast like this, right, that is live, as you can see the chat here in the middle, it takes a lot of coordination, a lot of moving parts. Using NRL as an example, there's probably over the course of one broadcast, like over 150 different buttons that I hit, right, on different pages, on a stream deck and all of that, while coordinating, people in the lobby and whatnot. And, why should you have to go through that pain? We can do that for you, and we can do it well the first time.
Yeah. By the way, First of all, you did great. Come on, give yourself,
Yeah.
give yourself
Give
a,
yourself
a
credit.
round of applause. Give yourself some credit. You did a good job explaining that. And I have to give you your flowers on somehow doing NRL and running the lobby and doing the production. Not to mention all
Thank
of the
you.
work throughout the weeks. Between races. I don't even want to talk about however many months you spend before you somehow do it all. But I think what people don't see is you still have a huge team behind you helping you to do it all. And not all these leagues have that, right? A lot of leagues are one person. So if that one person has to do all the planning and the points gathering and the stewarding, they're not going to get to doing broadcasts for the most part. Some people are superheroes. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the core of our service, though, is we exist because these leagues should be able to focus on running the good racing, building their driver base for sure, creating great events without also having to become experts in production, commentary, broadcast flow, all of that stuff overnight. And it doesn't mean that every league needs the same thing. Some might not need a stream, but if you do, we're here. And if you need just part of a package, you may not need a full broadcast package. Some folks, you just need commentary, or you may just need the production support. We can even help you shape an event into something that feels ready for an audience. But the larger point is that if you want your record to be seen, you want your league to be seen and remembered and taken seriously, the broadcast matters. So I know we said this was going to be quick. We are about halfway through, which is perfect. I want to shift into the second part of the conversation now. We have talked about the need. We've talked about storytelling, accessibility, community, and production. But Upshift Media is also about the people involved. Everyone here has some kind of connection to sim racing, broadcasting, or league work, community building, obviously. So I do want to go around one more time and ask a simpler, more personal question. Why did you say yes to being a part of Upshift Media? And this can be about what you think the company can be, or what you think the community needs, or whatever excites you about building this group. So we'll go back to Sal, since this started with your vision. I'm gonna come back to you. Why was this something you wanted to build with this group specifically?
Well, Tati, I mean, we had started doing like the PhD World Series, and we took a lot of inspiration from McNaughty at NRL, and I think we all here, understand NRL is probably the gold standard that we're all living up to. And we really tried to recreate that in the PhD World Series, and I then again tried to replicate that in my Joker series, and it
Yeah.
really became something bigger than what we were trying to do. And getting to know each one of you, and working with each of your individual talents. I mean, just to run down the list. I mean, me and McNaughty are certainly like the technical people on the team.
Mhm.
We got
Ain't
TK,
that's the
SlowMoe,
truth.
Tati. You guys really bring the excitement and the commentary. Papa, you've got the community, and really being, so personable and bring everybody together. That it's really kind of an all-star team, really. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to bring together somewhat of an all-star team to put together this so that we can offer to all the other leagues out there. We touched on it before. There's plenty of leagues out there running their own stuff. And a lot of them just do it in, like I said, obscurity. They have their night that they do, and they kind of do it for themselves. But what they're producing is worth so much more than that. And if they want to show it off to the world, how many times do you get to race, and you go talk to your family or your friends, and they just don't get it? Now you can send them somewhere, bring us in as a broadcast company. We'll produce it for you. We'll show your league off to the world, and bring in some of those other people to go and see what you're doing, and listen to some people talk about it. When I started in NRL as a driver, every single time I went back the next day and watched the actual broadcast, because I wanted to know, what did they say about me? Did they notice this move and all that kind of stuff? And it brings a whole nother dimension to what's going on. So, I want to thank each and every one of you for saying yes. I had been thinking about this for a while, and it was funny because I had a league actually approach me about doing it, which kind of fast tracked my idea. And I reached out to every one of you, and I was so glad that you're all as excited about it as I am to really get this underway and to see what we can do. So, congrats to all of you for saying yes, and I'm really looking forward to knocking this out of the park.
All right. Well, thank you for choosing us and giving us an opportunity to say yes. Which T-Case, it's your turn. What made this feel like something that was worth being a part of for you? Why did you say yes?
Yeah, great. I mean, it goes back to NRL. I was one of the original broadcasters for NRL. I had never done it before, had no clue what I was doing. It was so fun to watch it grow. And honestly, after season 1, I wasn't sure if I was going to come back. McNaughty invited me back, and I was on the fence, and I said yes. And I was glad I said yes. And that kind of kept happening until it was a no-brainer. Same with the PHG World Series. I had done so much NRL. I was like, okay, now I get to do PHG World Series, but I also get to learn the broadcasting side, which I really enjoyed running the production as well. It was fun. I've learned so much. Big thanks to Sal and McNaughty for sharing so much knowledge and really growing as a commentator. I started out very, very raw and now feel pretty polished. I definitely have more work to do, but it's just so incredible. And I don't know, the way you feel after a really good broadcast is
Yes.
pretty incredible. Like when
Absolutely.
everybody was on and flowing, and the racing was good, and the cameras were good. I mean, it's just it's a different type of feeling. And then Sal, you came to me with the Joker series in its early days, and that meant a lot to me that you wanted to share it with me. And so it just slowly became a no-brainer. And then when you came to me with this, and then I found out that the 5 of you are the ones who are also looking to say yes, it was, I mean, so easy. I've worked with all of you, and I love working with you guys. And it's so much fun. It's just kind of impossible to say no to it. I started with just somewhere in the 100 something subscribers when I first signed on to NRL. So I was still early in streaming. Everything was so new. I wasn't even using OBS yet. And just all of this has come together, and it's been really cool. And I couldn't think of better people to embark on this journey with.
That was really, really great. Thank you. Y'all have to follow that. All of you who are next. I
Thanks,
really enjoyed
TK.
working with you as well,
Of
TKs,
course.
and I look forward to many, many more years of doing so. Seriously.
Absolutely.
SlowMoe, it's your turn now. What made you want to be a part of Upshift Media?
Everything. I mean, absolutely everything. And everybody's kind of touched on some of the different things, but TK, thanks for really making it hard to follow. I gotta say.
Right? I had a lot of feelings.
Yeah, no, and they're all very they're all feelings that we all, I think, share. As you start to come off of a broadcast and you think, man, what could I have done better? And one thing that I've always done is watch back my broadcasts, and I'm really critical of myself, to see what I can improve on and what I can do better. And the one thing as a commentator that I find that I'm always looking for is more opportunity to commentate. When you start talking about a dream team, in my opinion, that's exactly what we've got here. You look at all the different leagues, and I mean, even since TK's, you and I were in the initial group of people that
Right.
started with the NRL, and that really felt like kind of the beginning of something that's really this incredible wave. I mean, you guys mentioned the PHG World Series. Look at all the new and upcoming commentators that are starting to come out of that as well. It's starting to become a buzz, and for me, I look at the leagues where I would love to be able to get on track and compete with these guys, but I'm just not going to be able to put in the time and the effort that it's going to take to keep up with them, with the talent pool that we get to see in the majority of these leagues. For me to have an opportunity to have a front row seat like we get, and be that person that's helping the audience see the details and all the fine things that are happening behind the scenes, whether it be the tire change and the strategy, what are they going to do, when are they coming in for their pit stop. Some of those little details really make a huge difference in the race results, and being able to kind of shed some light on that to somebody that maybe just tuned in is like, yeah, I don't know, I'm just kind of watching my cousin said he's racing, so I'm going to see what's going on, and we can get that person engaged and get that person hooked, man. That is where it's really become special for me. So, I'm absolutely honored to be, even considered in the group of people that you're looking around here with. So, there was no reason to say no to this opportunity. It's just such a neat opportunity, and I can't thank you guys all enough for it.
We're all an easy pick.
And you did a great job following TKs. That gives me hope for the
Thank you.
rest of us.
Yeah, I don't know.
TKs, well, y'all right here. It was good. It was good. Papa, of course, again from the community side of things, why did this make sense to you?
Honestly, to duplicate exactly what Sal, TK, and SlowMoe said, how could you not say no to a group of people like this? It is the best of the best, in my opinion, on the creative side, the intuition, the knowledge, the intelligence of this group of people. It was so hard to not say no. And again, like these other guys said, I was honored to be asked. It was a no-brainer, really. But for probably my biggest reason other than that is I know my wife would have pushed me into doing this anyway. So she was always the one, how can we better the YouTube channel? How can we better the community? She was always the driving force, pretty much behind everything I've done. So to be here with you guys and to continue her legacy, it was a no-brainer. I am honored to be here and to bring the PhD community along for the journey that they've been doing for 4 years. Here we go again, guys.
Here we go again. Yes. Thank you, Papa, of course. And of course for keeping her memory alive. I think I had obviously just kind of joined the community. When there would be some interactions in the comments between us as I was broadcasting, but unfortunately I never had the pleasure of having like a direct conversation with your wife. But it's been very clear to me from the very beginning of like just being thrown into NRL after coming off a 22-day cruise that it's a huge part of the community and very important in everyone's hearts. So thank you. Wow. Last but not least, McNaughty, what made you want to be involved?
Yeah, of course I have to go last, but I'll say this, NRL was not the first league to like exist in the GT7 community, right? But it did stem from a particular desire that I had that I didn't get from a league that I had joined in the past, right? And rather than, sitting around and moaning and complaining about it, I was like, okay, let's build something, right? And NRL in particular has become larger and more successful than I could have ever hoped when we first started doing season 1. TKs and SlowMoe, you guys know what it was in the beginning and where it is now. And then to see, so many other leagues take inspiration or, involve me personally in some of the things that they're doing, or just the communication that's happened in the communities that have grown because of this now let's say revolution of GT7 league racing, right? Now we have an opportunity to help in that regard as well, right? So we've done the community building with our individual leagues that we're a part of, but now we have an opportunity to help out everyone, especially those who, may not have, the certain skill sets, whether that's graphic design or production or camera controls or commentary, right? We can be a bridge to, make the path complete for any league creators out there. And I will say that, when Sal came to me and, was talking to me about this opportunity, I was quick to sign up and say yes, because I was like, one thing that I would want is to hire a company like this myself for NRL. Like, it's like, oh, this is perfect, right? Like, but
you might be racing if you do that. We were like, yeah, McNaughty's on track.
But yeah, to partner up with the five of you, and the broader team in general, it's a great opportunity, and I couldn't be happier to be a part of it.
Yeah, well, we thank you for sure for being a part of it. You and
Right.
Sal, of course, as the technical
Mhm.
backbone of so many of these broadcasts. I mean, we could get it done, but it ain't gonna be nice,
Right.
It
I enjoy being the nerd.
Yes,
Enjoy
I'm
being the
glad
nerd
you
on the
enjoy
team.
being a nerd. Listen,
Yes.
I'm old school. I started my commentary journey where you were the commentator and the producer. You were doing both, and sometimes you were calculating the points like before you got to the interviews too. So I know that it is crazy trying to get this done and pull all the levers. And I didn't have nearly as many levers to pull as the two of you do with your broadcast and what we're going to be doing with Upshift Media. Actually, I should probably answer the same question. Why did I want to be a
Yes.
part of this? That's part of it. Obviously, the professionalism. I love good broadcast, and the other piece of it for me is community. I've been sim racing on GT since GT5, since we could get into sim racing together, and it's still around. But like back in the day, you learned about leagues on GT Planet, right? You went to GT Planet, those old Gran Turismo forums, and there was a whole section for leagues, and there were a ton of them that were current. Less so now, but if you go there now, there's still a couple that are alive, and there's like Snail's been around since like 2011, right? You'll see posts from like 2016 and stuff like that, but that has died away. We don't really do forums anymore. Discord is a fantastic community builder, but Discord is closed. Discord isn't really searchable, right? So unless you have a website or like some other place where people can find you and then find the link to get invited to your Discord or know a friend, it's hard to get into community. And I've noticed as someone who is part of several communities in the GT7 world, we are extremely siloed, even while all being on the same platform. Everyone's on Discord. I feel like YouTube could be the new GT Planet, right? Instead of a forum, if more leagues are broadcasted, more leagues are available to be searched or just live, then we build community again, and we build it the way it was when we had GT Planet, and you were aware of everything that was going on even if you didn't join. So that is a huge part of it for me, is that I believe that broadcast and YouTube can bring that back to us, can really have people hopping between communities and joining leagues that work for them. And I actually have bigger ideas beyond just the broadcasting that I would like to bring to Upshift Media one day once we perfect this piece.
Well said, Tati.
Well said indeed.
Thank you. So I think actually this is probably the perfect place to wrap. Tonight was really about just introducing the idea behind Upshift Media. We are here because we believe sim racing leagues deserve broadcasts that match the passion, the effort, and the quality of the racing itself. So we believe commentary matters. We believe production matters. We believe storytelling, communities matter. And we believe the communities grow when people can see them, understand them, and share their moments, right? So for league organizers, this is what we want you to hear. You don't have to build every piece of this alone. If you have the drivers, you have the racing and the schedule, the vision, Upshift Media can help you present it to the world in a way that feels polished and engaging and worth watching. Whether you are trying to grow your audience, or give your drivers a better experience, create more value for sponsors, or simply just want to make your league a little bit more professional, this is the space we are stepping into. This is Upshift Media, and we're very excited to finally share it with you. And we're even more excited for what comes next. So you can check out the work over on YouTube. We're actually going to raid to our YouTube channel, but it is at Upshift Media Studios. I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank my 5 colleagues here for joining and speaking to this. And we'll see you guys in the streams.
Yep. So absolutely, a couple of calls to action for all of you out there that are watching, that are fans of each of our separate channels, is go to the Upshift Media Studios channel. Go ahead and subscribe to it, because we plan on doing stuff. We've got our first league already booked. We're going to be broadcasting for the VIP Racing League We've been commissioned by them, so we are super excited about putting that on. I've been discussing that vision with Left to Pass You from VIP, and I am super excited to get that underway. But yeah, go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go watch the content that we're seeding out there. We're just, kind of presenting what our body of work is, what we've done in the past. PHG World Series, NRL, Joker Series. You guys can watch some of the highlights of what we've put on, and then stay subscribed for the new stuff coming. Sky's the limit here. I can't wait.
Yeah. Do we have a starting date for that VIP series yet?
It is June 8th. Oh, I don't remember the exact date. It's either June 8th or June 7th. It's a Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, July 8th.
Okay, I was like,
can't be June 8th, buddy.
Oh yeah, it's June 8th today.
Like,
Today's June 8th,
we're
right?
fired. We're fired.
So professional. We're so professional here.
So the pre-qualification runs from Wednesday, July 8th to the 12th of July, the following Sunday, with 2 sessions at 9 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. So VIP has released a video, so we'll be sure to put a post up on the Upshift Media page with a link to their intro video, and you guys can get signed up. I think signups are still open for a little while longer. So yeah, if you want to participate in that league, we'll make sure you get all the information you need.
Okay, thank you guys so much for clarifying that. Wow, that was difficult, and that is really a fine note. We gotta go. We'll see you guys soon. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.